Hello and welcome. I'm Ash Mannix. It is Sunday evening once again. And it has been a while. I have been busy the last few Sundays, or tired. So I've not streamed on a Sunday for a while because we have finished playing Ace Attorney Investigations. So the Sundays were free, and I had to also decide upon what to play on a Sunday to replace it. And one of the suggestions from chat on the Discord was to carry on playing the Shell. So here we are. Hopefully my voice... fuck, these coughs keep... I don't talk all day. Well, as soon as I start talking, the coughs come. I should probably get a scene too, but whatever. Whatever. I'll have myself something to munch on. Let me just check everything is set up. Let's switch scenes. There we go. Trying not to munch too close to the microphone. Also, I'll probably keep the microphone a bit closer. I don't know, actually. I think I've got... where's my tea? I've got myself a little cup of tea. Let's get into this, shall we? Right. I cannot remember where I am in this game because the last time I played this, or the last time I streamed this, which was also the last time I played this, was in March this year. So it's been a while, and I forget so very easily. So, suffice to say, I've totally forgotten what's happening here. I remember we were playing a character whose parents have passed away. He lives with his sister. They have their own house, which I think they inherited from the parents. He works as an investigator, and we were investigating a gruesome murder. I think the body's head had been decapitated. I can't remember if the other body parts had been cut off as well, so it was very, very gruesome. It was a young woman, I think, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, it's not looking good. This is probably not going to go in good places. I mean, the fact it's called the Shell... it has a woman sitting on a shell with what looks like blood to be the yolk. Yeah. Let's load in. So yes, as I said, 21st of March was the last time I played this. Load data? Let us load. Let's lock in load. Alright, beat. What is this? Trending world liked my post. We post the main Blue Sky trending topics in the world every 30 minutes. There are usage tips. Okay. Interesting. I don't know why. Like, let me... So we're back at home. I took a drag off a cigarette in the living room after lunch. Oh yes, most of this is voice acted. Oh, beautiful. I mean, technically I should probably like read out what she's saying because it's in Japanese. This is not a listen only friendly stream. But you know that I think about it. Also, I wonder if I should Kara no Shōjo. Kara no Shōjo is an adult visual novel. Yeah, that's what I'm playing. I should probably put this in the title now that I think about it. 1 second. Oh, what am I doing? I'm gonna put this in the title of this stream, and I'll update the other stream titles as well. I play the Shell. Kara no Shōjo, the Shell. Damn it! I'm on my Windows PC and I keep mixing command and control. So annoying. Actually, while I'm at it, and since there's not really anyone watching anyway, I'll just update the other videos I have in the playlist as well. I remember we have a really nice sister who like mixes food and tea, is basically the housewife, which is mental. Uh-oh. No! Yes. This is a nice chill music. Nothing bad's ever going to happen in this game, right? Exactly. Nothing bad is ever going to happen. It's gonna be fine, guys. It's gonna be totally fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We'll, you know, nothing bad's gonna happen. Uh-oh. Title's too long. Shit. Hello, Cooksoul. Welcome to the stream. Ooh, back to this. Yes, it was a tough decision. But, I wasn't sure what to do on a Sunday anymore, because I was just, I was being busy the last couple of weekends. I could not be arsed, to be fair. Maybe I should just call it Kara no Shōjo and take out the Shell bit. I'll do that in the title. Because a lot of people probably know this game as Kara no Shōjo. I'll figure out all the stuffs around this later. I should probably not be doing all this admin stuff, but hey ho. It'll bug me otherwise. Uh-oh. No! When you accidentally do control copy instead of control V and you copy the thing that you want to paste or right. Alright, crack dealer, welcome to the stream. You have missed nothing. I've literally just been doing admin stuff. Right. Where are we? We are with our lovely sister who is asking if I'm free. Yukari sauntered over after she'd put the plates away. Your sister who does all the cleaning, all the house stuff, all the makes you food and everything. Basically is your housewife, right? And she's like, do you have some time, older brother, to have a chat? I'm busy, I need to read my books to the library. Kuxo saying, lovely sister in Eroge, oh dear, don't you dare. Also, this isn't Eroge, isn't it? Why can't there be games that I play that are not Eroge? Cracker saying, what an ass. I know, right? What the hell's wrong with him? Oh, she's pushing. She's going, well, Yukari ignored me and held out an empty coffee bag. Cracker says she deserves better. Her smile concealed venom that left no room for argument. Do you know what? She knows how to deal with him. Fair enough. She's got this sister's got claws. Moon World? Coffee for a place called Moon World? Interesting. Thank you very much, thank you very much. Yukari tried to push me out the door with a smile. No, you lazy bum, get me some tea. Sorry, coffee. Cracker saying short hair. That's not normal at this time, is it? No, have you not seen a couple of characters in this game with short hair? Reminds me of Tsukihi? What's Tsukihi? We're gonna say Tsukihime. Oh god, I tried to type Tsukihi and it auto-corrected it to Tsukihime. What? Oh, from Monogatari. Bad things happen. Do you know I've not watched Monogatari? I've watched like the first couple of seasons. Why are we mentioning Monogatari here today, guys? Crap, she got me. I mean, in his defense, you are his sister and have known him all your life, so... Yukari chuckled as she shoved the money for the beans into my hand. Have a safe trip. Nissan. Why does it say Reiji? You should say Nissan. What the fuck? Or brother at least. Yari yari. I'm pretty sure yari yari doesn't translate to oh mother of. Doesn't it mean oh dear? I mean good grief, yeah. What is this oh mother of God type blasphemy? No. Cracker saying, why aren't we mentioning Monogatari? Because I've not watched it in ages and I just don't wanna. Kuxo saying Monogatari is still peak. We're all old men. Isn't Monogatari ancient? Yari yari daze. I donned my coat and left the house at Yukari's urging. Look at this! Young couple. Wait, do we have config? No, it's not the config. Do we have anything about the characters? Fuck, we don't have a character thing? Oh well. Notes? Though it wasn't cold enough... Oh. I donned my coat and left the house at Yukari's urging. Though it wasn't cold enough to see my breath, it was still pretty chilly. Yari yari. I straightened out my collar and huddled up as I made my way over to the Moon World. Wait, Moon World's where that hot woman is, right? Cracker saying shut up, 2010 was just a few years ago. Shut up, mate. Don't say it. Don't. 2010 was only 15 years ago, guys. It's only 15 years ago. Soon to be 16. Fuck. It was only half an hour from home to Kichijoji station at a leisurely clip. However, I'd felt a strange presence behind me for some time now. Oh. No, ever since I'd left the house. I was being tailed. Cracker saying the cafe lady, yes, I believe it's that place. It seemed my stalker was maintaining a set distance, making sure not to stay too far or too close. They hid behind walls and slipped between passers-by, but they were definitely following me all the same. I hadn't turned around to check, so I had no idea who it was. Maybe it's time to give them the slip. Moonworld wasn't too far from here, but it seemed dangerous to let my stalker know my destination. so I decided to pass through the station and head for Inokashira Park. I could probably shake them by taking a lap or two around there. I pushed my way through the crowd as I entered a narrow alley in the remains of the black market, taking care not to tip off my pursuer. I finally reached Inokashira Park after traversing the local alleys several times. The place was full of families and pairs who appeared to be couples. Why would you word it like that? I feel like there's some pairs who appeared to be couples. Why would you say families and couples? Made sense, what with it being Sunday and all. Do I detect a hint of jealousy here? Can relate. I no longer sensed anything strange behind me. Surely I'd shaken them by now. I took a look back just to be safe, but saw no one suspicious. Yari yari. He just said yari yari, and this translates to damn now that was an adventure. Not that I even understood why anyone would tail me to begin with. Still, I ended up wasting a lot of time and energy thanks to them, so I figured I should take a little breather first. Character is going with Kuxo is saying in quotes, "Time marches on and the age of a new king is upon us." Kuxo saying this translation must be pretty loose. There's a joke I could probably make there that I'm not witty enough to make. Time marches on in the age of a new cut. Wait, what's that from? I'm not cultured. Let me Google this. That is a quote from somewhere, I feel. Oh my god. Metaphor rephantasm. Of course it is. Right, anyway, let's carry on. I headed deeper into the park, the crowds growing sparser and quieter with distance. This was a spot I frequented whenever I wanted to kill some time. I thought he was going to say whenever I wanted to kill someone. Hardly anyone ever visited the area, making it a great location to help gather my thoughts, plus the perfect place to take a nap. You just sleep on the floor here? Not that I planned on getting any napping done in the crisp March air, of course. This does look like a really beautiful place. Wait, someone's here? Ooh, who's here? Kuxo saying that quote is from Metaphoria Fantasia. Yeah, I just found that. Yeah, of course it is. A girl was sitting on a bench that commanded a fabulous view of the pond, her long, ebony hair quietly dancing in the breeze. Ooh. She appeared to be wearing a school uniform. Uh-oh. Ryuji, how old are you? I feel like this is becoming dangerous. Must have been a student then. The uniform was white, an oddity in this day and age. Thanks to that, I recognised it right away. That was Oba Girls Academy uniform, the same place Yukari went. Oh. Makes sense that you'd recognise it then. It was hard to believe she'd be in this place all by herself, considering the school's strict regulations, yet here she was regardless. Just then, she suddenly turned around. Oh shit. Yeah. Wait, play that again. Can I play that again? I can't play that again.
Yeah.
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 That's not a hey yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? A yeah? Her voice was light and clear as a bell. Reggie. There should be alarm bells ringing right now. Red flags are flying everywhere. Be wary. She is the main person, the main character of the story, and the fact that they show her sitting on some weird egg of blood concerns me greatly. The girl stared straight into my eyes. It appeared she hadn't called out to me by accident after all. Oh, she was the one that was chasing us. Ah, this is going to be bad. Why is a schoolgirl chasing us? She showed off her... she showed off her long, slender legs. What? I feel like she's not exactly showing off here. She's just looking at you. I suppose it's... Never mind. I figured that much from her choice of words, but why she followed me was still up in the air. What? What a weird question. This girl. I'll be like, I don't want to be around this person for too long. I feel like I'm going to get arrested. And I don't know why. It could be for anything. She seems like danger in so many ways.
何が
Why would you word it like that? How did it feel? You were stalking me. Why are you asking me this?
探偵が尾行される気分さ。
She knows too much, guys. We gotta just, we gotta get rid of her. Chuck her in the lake. She said that ever so casually.
なぜ俺が探偵だと
She's probably a friend of our sister's or something. It kinda gave me the chills to hear that from a total stranger. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Come on, man. It's translation. Not to mention the fact that keeping a profession a secret was Detective 101. Do you know what? I think Pixel's right. I think they took some liberties when translating this. They've translated it into a more modern English. I feel like he wouldn't be like, not gonna lie. But hey ho, what am I talking about? I barely play video games. What do I know? A blown cover only made it that much harder to do your job.
あなたの家からついてきたからね、時坂さん。
Why do you know my name? She is going to be a friend of our sister's. I mean, that's what I would assume. Grider saying, let's go, it should have been me, not him. Creepy.
まあ俺の家まで来ていたのなら名前を知っている理由もうなずけるが
Can I just say, I'm very happy that he's finding this girl creepy, like a normal person, and he's not going, this is a... I don't know, he's not being a weird perv. This makes me happy. Freaking sick of main characters being complete pervy bastards. What exactly did she want? I couldn't even hazard a
そ
guess.
れで、私の尾行はどうだったかな？
You know, the first thing I'd be like, I'd be asking is, why were you tailing me? What do you want? That, you know, you've well done, you're a smart person, you know who I am, you figured out I'm a detective. What is it you want? Now go away. I want to have... Remember, guys, we were on our way to the Moon Cafe or Moon World, right? Was it called Moon World? And remember who's at Moon World? This girl is preventing us from going to Moon World. Because they're saying, you just aren't far enough into the game yet. Oh no, don't do this to me. Fuck off. Don't you dare, game. Give me a decent protagonist. Fucking hell. I had high hopes for this game.
最悪すぎるくらいに合格だ
And here I thought I'd given her the slip. Do you know what? Is there any... No, do you know what? There is actually. Eve Burst Air. I mean, yes, there was a schoolgirl in that, but the main love interests were not schoolgirls. That was actually a pretty decent game. I mean, yeah, it was a decent game, but it's a pretty decent game in more ways than one for an eroge. And here I thought I'd given her the slip. Cracker saying, you're asking for too much, old man. You know... No, man. I'm like, you can have your eroge, right? No, I mean, I'm playing the eroges. I can't fucking... But what is it with men that are just too old to be hanging around? Why is there school kids? Why can't we have more of the cafe lady at Moonworld? I know it's a trope, but it's pretty lame, right? I mean, at least this guy seems quite young. I would say he's maybe early 20s, but he could be in his 30s. I can't tell. Wait, do you know what? I could just look this up. Kara no Shōjo, gameplay, plot, blah blah blah, Reiji. He's the main protagonist and a private detective. He was forced to quit, blah blah. Oh wait. How old is this guy? These are the questions that I need to know the answers to, guys. Oh, he's 30. Never mind. Never mind. This guy is 30? Fuck, it looks epic. Why can't I look that good? Anyway, the girl giggled and rose from the bench. A moment later, she faced me with a gesture that belied her weight. What?
朽木瞳子
I don't know why, right? But the way she said that was kind of funny. That is her name though, Kuchiki Toko. That's an interesting name. It's not Kuchiki.
私の名前さ
I don't like how confident you are for a schoolgirl, or for anyone your age. The girl, Toko, turned her back to me with a swift spin. Toko Kuchiki. A winter that decays trees. Is that what that translates to? Bloody hell. Oof. What an ephemeral and transient name. I feel like that is a warning, straight off. Funny thing was, even though we just met, I felt like the name was a good fit for the delicate girl. Okay.
いつ果てぬともわからぬすぐに壊れて消えてしまいそうな名前でしょ
I mean, I didn't really say that, but... No, I wasn't like that. I instinctively shook my head after she hit the bullseye.
無理
So
し
you
な
lied.
くてもいいよ名は体を表すとも言うからね私にぴったりの名前そこが好きなんだ
What do you say, guys? Do names mirror a person's body? Crack dealer? Kuxel? What does that shamanic say about me? Toko's voice rang like a chime again. Though her choice of words was wanton, her voice was unquestionably a girl's.
ところで、俺に一体何の用事があるんだ?
Yeah, what do you want? I railroaded us back on topic. You should have done this earlier. It felt like I'd fall into some sort of rabbit hole if I kept humouring her, and I couldn't be having that.
探偵に頼むことなんて一つしかないじゃないかお仕事の依頼だよ
Why? You know, it actually costs money. Do you have money? To be honest, I know she's going to the academy and therefore she's probably from a well-off-to-do family. But I don't know if she has the pocket money for this. Toko mischievously sized me up. Yeah, that was it. Now I knew what she reminded me of. A cat. Neko. Wait a minute, I've closed the doors so Jobby won't be coming in today.
聞いてる
ああ、もちろん。
It was probably something silly, knowing her girls her age. But killing some time wouldn't hurt.
探してほしいんだ
何を?
私を本当の猫
I shouldn't laugh. What is this fucking bullshit? Trying to just think I was born with a coke backy and a bird. What the fuck?
おい。
Yeah, what the fuck? Toko turned her back to me once again before I could even process those words.
時坂さんまた会おう
Oh, don't fucking do that. Say some stupid bullshit and then run away. What the fuck? And with that, she was gone like the wind. This girl is trouble. What the hell was that about? Yeah, what the fuck? Who just up and leaves someone with an order to find them? Wait, could it be? Wait, no, where is he going with this?
かくれんぼってことじゃねえよな。
She wants to play hide and seek. Wait, we've got Moonworld to go to. This random schoolgirl can GTFO. It seemed I had a lot to learn about girls these days. No man, just walk away. Ignore her. Since I knew mulling over the girl's request wouldn't get me anywhere, I decided to finish my errand first. Yes, priorities. What the fuck? I was suddenly greeted by a cute yelp. Okay. The voice came from my feet. Oh my god. Who's this person? Why? Oh no, she mentioned she had some girl working with her. A girl was sprawled on the floor.
誰?
Dare. I'd never seen her before.
そのいらっしゃいませ
Do you know what? I mistook this game for a decent game. What the fuck is this? The girl bowed her head, backside still seated firmly in place. It seemed she'd fallen, judging from the tray and drinking glass nearby.
大丈夫かな?
Daijoubu?
申し訳ありません
Can you stand up, please? I helped her to her feet. Thank God. The girl started gathering up the tray and drinking glasses. Did she break any of the glasses? I didn't hear any glass break. Crackdale, what are you doing with those cameras? Cracker saying, I laughed my ass off. As soon as he said cat, it reminded me of the sweetest Oh, no, you don't. Let's not talk about the sweetest monster. Cracker said, decent. This is a great game. What are you talking about? This is... What is this? I'm looking for your boss. Where is she?
新しく雇ったって子か。
Kyoko did mention she was enlisting some help, come to think of it. Why are we bumping into so many schoolgirls today? Wait, what was the story of, was it Kyoko? The person that ran this place? Did she not have a fiance or a husband and he died? And I think they were all friends. There was Reiji, her, and her husband were friends or something. Because the story, apparently Reiji's Reiji, I'm mispronouncing that. His fiancée died or something. I don't know if that's been explicitly said in the game yet. Maybe that's a spoiler. Maybe I shouldn't have read that. She was bowing so low that I couldn't help but do the same. Wait, your name's Hatsune Miku? I took a seat at the counter at Hatsune's behest inside. I felt like I'd wandered into a moon world from a parallel dimension. Moon world.
俺はお前からこんな接客されたことないぞ。
Rather saying Reiji. Is that ra? Or just a normal ra? Reiji. Ah, here we go. Right, I'm just gonna pause in here for a second. Have a nice cup of tea. Nice sip of my tea. Ah. Kyoko flashed me a little scowl from behind the counter. Look at that ponytail as well. Ponytails rock. You know, now I think about it, I never really see any other... Crack dealer is going well in the chat. I never see any other customers here. This cannot be good for business. I craned my neck and took stock of my surroundings. Hatsune was around cleaning, but otherwise the cafe was deserted as the Mary Celeste. Oof. I'm pretty sure that like the Mary Celeste thing is not normal. That's been added in the translation. I don't know. I mean, is it a quiet hour? What time is it? If the place were always this dead, then she could never afford to hire new help for favor for a friend or not. That's true, actually. I was thinking that. She wouldn't need any help if it was always this dead. I'll have my tea. I like my tea like I like my women. Oh yeah, that's why we're actually here. Kyoko giggled as she brought out a jar full of coffee beans. Why are you giggling? What's wrong with doing the chore for your sister? Wait a minute, Brazil bourbon coffee? Is this... What the fuck is this? This can't be real. Oh shit. Wait, Brazil bourbon likely refers to Brazil yellow bourbon, a high quality, naturally sweet and complex coffee bean from Brazil. The Corbin is a misspelling of bourbon, a variety of coffee Arabica. What? No, sorry, I misspelled that. Brazil yellow bourbon coffee beans. This exists? What the fuck? What does bourbon actually mean? I always thought it was just an alcoholic drink. Yeah, it's a type of whiskey. Barrel-aged American whiskey made primarily from corn. The name derives from the French House of Bourbon. Oh! The French House of Bourbon. Wait, it's an American whiskey? From the French House of Bourbon? It's a weird thing. So why is this called bourbon coffee? I'm on the website called coffeemasters.co.uk. Wait, what other coffee? What teas did they do? Tea Masters Loose Leaf Tea Premium. Damn, that's expensive tea. What coffees do they have? All Day Blend Coffee Beans. Brazil Yellow Bourbon Coffee. Cold Brew Ground Coffee. What? Why is this more expensive? Savour a delicious cup of coffee in the morning, lightly roasted to perfection in the UK and ground for your convenience. 100% Arabica. What is what the I don't know anything about coffee. What is Arabica coffee? Also known as Arabica coffee, is a species of flowering plant in the coffee and madder family. Is it from the Middle East? Who knows? Anyway, I've gone down a fucking rabbit hole. Is it? I guess it is. Or so I'd heard anyway. Wait, how much are you charging me for this? I ain't got the money. Kyoko paid me no heed and started weighing the black beans. Kyoko put her task on hold and contemplated my request for a second. No man. No discounts, no friends, mates. Friends, rates, what? Mates, rates, that's it, fucking hell. Let me give you less so you could pay less? Okay. That's not a discount. Better than settling for cheap and crappy beans at least. Yeah, you get one coffee bean. Hey, I'm not made of money. Uh-oh. Hatsune's hysteric shout made me wince on instinct. Wait, why is it fine if it's me? Kyoko chided Hatsune, at least I think she did. I took pity and threw Hatsune a bone. Oh. Oops, sorry. Did we not meet a guy who was a detective from Ueno? There was only one detective in Ueno who came to mind. Damn, talk about a small world. That sounds ominous. I wonder if she knew that statement could be grossly misinterpreted. Yep. Nah, on second thought, I wouldn't put it past that guy. What? What? Hatsune's face flushed ever so slightly. He taught you how to write? Wait, what? When did you meet him? What age were you? That told me everything I needed to know to fill in the picture. What? Dude, what are you saying? Hatsune was getting all worked up. Oh my god. Kyoko jumped to the rescue after Hatsune's face practically began melting. Yeah, to be honest, Reiji, that was pretty bad of you, man. Though I'd been planning on letting it go anyway, so I was grateful for the convenient segue. Did she just call her Koneko? Did she call her a cat? Hatsune inflated her cheeks and started sulking. What, like a child? But man, she knew that guy, huh? Wait, who is this guy? I feel probably not the guy I was thinking of. What year is this? I feel this is quite far in the past, right? Because I'm like, he taught her how to write. People not teach you how to write, man. Only one place that fit the bill came to mind. Oh. 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 Kyoko painfully squeezed my arm. Only then did I realize that I'd said too much. Hatsune hung her head. I see, so she was...
私は初音は娼婦でした。
How old are you? Oh, this makes me feel bad. She shamefacedly looked up and stared me dead in the eyes.
でもね、時坂くん。この子はお手伝いだけで、お座敷に上がったこともないから。
What is... How do you know that? What? Kyoko put a hand on Hatsune's shoulder and came to her rescue again. Hatsune looked at me as her face quivered, eyes glistening on the verge of tears. And so I gently placed my hand on her head.
君は立派な人たちに育てられたんだね。
Gradually going, what was this game about again? Wait, you're the one that suggested I play this? Do you not know what this game is about?
君の目を見ればわかる。仕事がどうあれ、君は誇りを持ってやっていたんだろう。そういうのは周囲の人間から学び取るものだからね。
Working in a brothel was tough, even if you didn't actually get any customers. If you didn't actually, that's one way of putting it. Yeah, I could tell she'd lived with her head held high, even in an environment like that. Which was all the more impressive when considering the gruesome incident that happened there. Oh, shit. What happened there?
ほら、なんと言ったかな。あそこの女将の。
Character saying I was only there for the first stream. Right, so we're a detective, and what's happened so far is there's been a gruesome murder of a young girl, or a young woman. I don't know, girl, woman, like someone. They were like, the body was all cut up and found in, do you know the park that we were just in not long ago where we were chased by Toko, or where we've met Toko, or whatever her name is, the weird girl, there. So, you know, the scene has been set that, you know, there's some gruesome murder out there, and I've got a feeling that what he's going to talk about now is maybe related somehow to this murderer.
ウジャク様です。
I barely caught the name that escaped her lips.
そうそう、ウジャクさん。彼女にはいろいろとお世話になってね。
That said, our dealings had been strictly limited to the capacity of her other job, an information broker with ties to the criminal underworld.
5年前の事件以降は、とんと音沙汰がないけれど。
雪城が亡くなった後、ウジャク様は私を養子に迎えてくださいました。
That's nice.
なるほど。それで雨宮か。
Interesting. I never imagined I'd find out an old source's real name in such an odd manner.
はい。ですから今は母様です。
That's nice.
いい人に巡り会えたようだね。
I rustled her hair one more time, only to reach for my coffee to hide the embarrassment swiftly rising to my cheeks. It had gone cold, sadly.
ありがとう、時坂くん。
I mean, we put our foot in it in the first place. Kyoko whispered gratefully into my
俺
ear.
は何もしちゃいないよ。それどころか余計なこと。嫌な探偵の性分を発揮してしまっただけだ。
Hell, I should probably be apologizing to her. I turned to Hatsune with that thought in mind. Our eyes met.
ん？
掃除に戻ります。
Okay. Hatsune abruptly turned away, her shoulder-length hair bobbing as she did.
あらあら、初音ちゃん照れているみたいね。
Why is she embarrassed now? Kyoko smiled knowingly as she topped off my cup with hot coffee. Was the girl getting feeling a bit of the hots for Reiji? I mean, she is young, impressionable, right? And as I can tell, he seems like a pretty handsome young fella. Well, I say young, he's not young. He is young though. The sun was setting in the western skies by the time I returned from Moonworld.
サミ
Dude, is that what you actually said? I'm gonna freeze my nuts off. Who fucking translated this? He said like Sammy. Right, wait. Yeah, he said Samui, right? Look, lad, you're not gonna fucking.
Sammy.
Samui. He just said it's cold. And it's translated to, man, at this rate, I'm gonna freeze my nuts off. What the fuck? Though that was only natural, it frequently got colder than the souls of men around sunset in March. I huddled up as I hastily retreated indoors. I'd suspected that what I'd find waiting for me the moment I saw those loafers the size of clown shoes in the entryway. Is this his, colleague? It was true that I'd considered he might drop by. I wouldn't have posted that note on my agency door otherwise. But still, he was crashing my vacation far too early. Oh yeah, this dude. Look at this dude. The man sipping coffee on the sofa turned to face me. So this is Hatsune. When she was talking about a detective she knew, I thought it was this guy. Is it this guy? Kyozo Uzumi and I were old friends who'd once worked at the same place, and though I'd quit, he was still there. Oh, were you not a police officer? In other words, he was an active police officer. Yeah, that was it. We used to be a police officer.
新宿からそれほど遠いわけじゃないだろう。どうせ四六時中吉祥寺に入り浸ってるんだろ。
We exchanged barbs as I sat on the sofa. What a loving relationship, eh?
おかえりなさい、兄さん。
This translation's not making me happy. Could have just said that. Welcome home, brother. Why is it ragey? Why are we doing this, guys? Yukari popped out of the kitchen just then, so I took the opportunity to hand over the coffee beans.
どうしてこいつを家にあげるんだ。
He knows you, and I'm assuming she knows that he knows you? I don't know.
寒いのに外で待っていただくわけにはいかないでしょ。
She placed a steaming cup of coffee in front of me. Oh man, if I could come home and have a fresh cup of coffee. I mean, I'm not a massive coffee person. I'd be happy with a fresh cup of tea waiting for me. That'd be great. Unfortunately, Jobby can't make tea.
それに、魚住さんはお仕事でいらしたんですよ。お話を聞いて差し上げないと。
兄貴とは違ってよくできた妹だよな。
This is so annoying.
うるさいよ。
Yeah.
で、要件は何だ。
I took a sip of coffee and faced Uzumi once more. He wasn't the kind of guy who'd ever come just to chat.
どうせろくでもない面倒事なんだろう。聞くだけ聞いてやるからさっさと話せよ。
お前好みの山だよ。
What does that mean?
私は席を外しますね。
That's probably wise. You probably don't want to know what this is going to be about. Sensing our conversation was going to be far from pleasant, Yukari bowed to Uzumi and left the room.
先日な、井の頭公園で女のバラバラ死体が発見された。
Yeah, I think we were there for that. Oh, were we there for that? Do you know what? I don't think we were following Reiji at the time. I think it was Uzumi. My kind of case, eh? I chomped on a cigarette and lit it. Oh, this guy smokes? Minus 100 points. Uzumi followed suit, taking out his own smokes.
もう一つある。
My hand froze just as I was about to lend him a match.
一昨日か。府中の多摩霊園でも女の死体が発見された。
Oh, that dude.
関連は
I wasted no time getting down to business.
ない。手口が全く異なっている。
Different MO. Wait, has he got a massive scar on his forehead? I think he does. Damn. Uzumi finally lit his cigarette.
井の頭公園で出たやつは胴体以外、両腕と両足、それに頭だった。霊園のはほぼ全身が残っていたが、遺棄された状態が特殊すぎる。
どう捨てられていた。
Uzumi wasn't kidding. My heart was throbbing with curiosity. It was only natural he'd known me so well after all the years we'd spent together.
墓地に埋められていた。それだけならともかく、片足だけ地表に出されて火がつけられていた。
What? I could hear our cigarettes quietly blazing.
何かの見立てか？
やっぱり食いついてきやがったか。
Uzumi chuckled.
だが今のところ何も分かっちゃいねえ。あとは、そうだな。確か左腕が切断されていた。
You think?
片腕だけか。
お、周囲からは発見されていない。
Oof. I stubbed out my cigarette and crossed my arms. 2 murders. It was far too hasty to presume they were serial killings. If anything, making that assumption would only limit the scope of suspects, a dangerous move if there ever was one.
お前さんにはタマレーンの件を任せたい。こちらも人手不足でな。
おい、魚住。俺はまだ受けるなんて一言も。
受けるんだろ。
Uzumi sounded so infuriatingly sure of himself.
お前さんが殺しの話で断るはずがねえからな。
そんなことねえよ。
I knew I was just being a contrarian. Of course I was going to take the case. My brain was already formulating routes of investigation even as we spoke.
動くのは明日からだ。任せたぜ。
ああ。
But man, it'd been ages since I took on such a grisly case. The last time was 6 years ago. I'd failed to apprehend the culprit back then. But I wouldn't make that mistake twice. I'd put this son of a bitch behind bars for those who died, as well as those they'd left behind. After kicking Uzumi out of the house, I had dinner with Yukari before retiring to my room. I heated myself up by the brazier while puffing on a cigarette. My mind was in overdrive, chewing over everything Uzumi had just told me.
足に火がつけられていた。か。
If this was the work of some calling card killer, then what significance did that hold? The closest appropriate idiom I could think of was feet to the fire. Then did that allude to the victim being pressured to do something? No. Feet to the fire didn't indicate setting a foot on fire, so that didn't add up. Since I hadn't heard all the details, I didn't know exactly how it had been burned. Maybe the way it had been burned was the significant part. Whatever the case, I figured it was best to study all this from another angle for the time being. According to Uzumi, the body's left arm had been severed. Now, why was that? If they'd wanted to ensure her fingerprints couldn't be analysed, they would have cut off both arms instead, so why only one? Maybe there was something special about the victim's left arm, like maybe she had some sort of tattoo there or... No. That sounded like something out of a bargain bin mystery novel. Both actions must have held some sort of significance to the culprit, but I was working with far too little information at the moment. Maybe focusing on the dismemberment case instead would prove more fruitful. Now this one was a fair bit easier. Uzumi said she'd been decapitated and hacked limb from limb, which would have made it relatively easy to transport the body. It was likely the killer had dismembered the body post-mortem and then disposed of it. As for the missing torso, well, they probably threw it away somewhere else. This culprit was extremely calm and smart despite the grotesque crime they'd committed. However, though I'd surmised that much, I knew any further speculation would be pointless at present. I could have started poking into the victim's acquaintances if only I knew their identity. But for now, I had no leads on a suspect.
全ては明日以降か。
I'd probably have to go back to slumming in my office again once it did too. Thus, I wanted to get a bath in before that happened. My agency didn't have one, so home was the only place I could take a nice hot soak. Then again, there were several soap lands near the office, but well. I threw a towel over my shoulder and rose to my feet. Isn't a soapland a brothel? I am only familiar with soaplands because of, like, a dragon. What is a soapland? Soapland, which first developed following the criminalization concept. Began as a simple bathhouse service where women washed men's bodies. Okay. Super dodge. But man, it was alarming to hear 2 incidents like this had happened in such quick succession so close to home. Was it the work of the same killer, or merely a coincidence? Only 5 kilometers separated the crime scenes as the crow flew. They were close enough for a single culprit to be responsible for both. But they couldn't have carried the corpses. Did that mean the criminal had a car? Not like that helped narrow down the list of suspects. Tons of people had cars these days. Ugh, screw it. Bath first, thinking later. Oh no, wait, let me get the sensor up. What is going on here? Oh my god! I cannot fucking believe this. Oh, good thing I got the sensor up. No, what? No, that's not the problem here, dear sister of mine. Oh my god, Kixel was right. I fucking can't believe this. Why? Why did this happen to me? Why did I listen to suggestions from chat? I turned away from Yukari and left the bathroom. God damn it. I retreated to the living room and flopped onto the sofa. Though she usually had her head on straight, my sister had the brain of a bird at times. It was seriously concerning. I wish she'd have some more shame. Yeah, Yukari got out a short while later, but just as I was about to enter the bath, let me just put the sensor up. She's asking if she wants to wash my back. Oh my god. Yep, I was right to fear for her future. Oof. After getting out of the bath, I returned to my room and warmed myself up by the brazier. Man, was I beat. I took a cigarette carton off my desk and grabbed a smoke. Upon lighting it, I tossed a match into the brazier. I breathed a heavy sigh and puffed out a cloud of smoke. It wasn't Uzumi's job that was on my mind at the moment, nor Yukari in her birthday suit naturally. No, it was that strange girl I'd met in the park. She'd also hired me for a job of sorts. Oh, is she going to be the killer? Oh my god. Discover her true self. Could she have meant that psychologically? If so, that was way past my pay grade. She'd be better off asking a philosopher or a doctor. Philosopher? Then again, maybe that was a perfectly natural question to have at that age. Yukari opened the door and poked her head in. I turned to her. Momentarily, I considered asking her about the girl I'd bumped into this morning, but thought better of it. Yukari might have known her, since they supposedly went to the same school, but it didn't feel like the right time to ask. And so, I tried tackling it from a different angle.
Nah, Yukari. 本当の自分を探していると言われたらどう思う？
謎かけですか？そうですね。
My sister's features softened.
今ここにいる自分は本物の自分ではないという考えでしょうか。今の自らに不満があり、どこかに幸せな本当の自分がいると思っている。
Yukari answered as she glanced at the ceiling from time to time.
謎かけだとしたら、もっと答えは簡潔でしょうか。
いや、参考になったよ。ありがとう。おやすみ。
お役に立てたのでしたら幸いです。おやすみなさい、兄さん。
This, wait a minute, let me check some. That was a bit of a freaking shocker. I need to be careful now. I didn't expect to have scenes like that in the game. Interesting that that's been set to that when it was actually that. Weird. Right, Right, let's carry on. Yukari smiled as she left the room. Not happy with yourself, eh? This Toko Kuchiki didn't seem down in the dumps from what I saw of her, which was admittedly very little. Our conversation didn't exactly get very deep, so I couldn't tell if Yukari's analysis was hot or cold. Seriously, just what in the world was going on in that cat-like girl's heart? It tantalized me to no end. Oh. I woke up and entered the living room to find breakfast already set on the table. Yukari's work, no doubt. I found a piece of paper lodged under a plate of sunny-side-up fried eggs. It read, "Please eat before you go to work. I'll be making dinner too, Yukari." She even wrote with a calligraphy brush, as refined as ever, clearly. The author in question seemed to have already left for school. It seriously sucked to have to get up so early in the morning. I had no idea how I'd survive that period of my life. I think you maybe didn't. At any rate, I decided I'd head for the office as soon as I finished eating. Valaria Katari, welcome to the stream. You're asking that is this the living room? Yes. Though it would have been quicker to get to Fushu from here, I had to go pick up my notebook first. I'd have felt naked investigating without it. It also occurred to me that I should summon Uzumi to the office. Travelling around would be all the easier if he brought his car. I gulped down the rest of my cold miso soup, rose from the table, and decided to get going. I took the Seibu line to Shinjuku and headed down Yasukuni Street to my agency. The place was as clean as I'd left it the other day. Yeah, I know, shocker. I opened my desk and retrieved my notebook. This long-time partner of mine had helped crack many a case over the years. I used it to jot down information on all the people I met and all the intel I gathered. To top it all off, it even came with a handy map. It was everything I could ask for and more. Speaking of which, this seemed like a good opportunity to record everything I'd learned thus far. So I sat at my desk and scribbled away with a pen. Welp, that should do it. What is this fucking translation, man? I looked up from my notebook just in time to see the hulking shadow of a man behind the glass office door. Oh, look, Uzumi. What a twist. I stood up, pocketing my notebook. Let me check this notebook. Awesome. Right, Kyoko Hazuki, cafe proprietress, old friend, lifelong friend of mine who runs the cafe Moonworld. Lost her husband in an accident 7 years ago. How old is she? No age? Shocking. Yukari Tokisaka, sister of a girls' academy student. The calm and collected backbone of the Tokisaka family who handles all the household chores. A bit of an odd bird. This is you describing your sister, what the fuck. Toko Kuchiki, occupation, you know what school she goes to. Relation, none. An utterly incomprehensible girl I met at the park. Came to me with quite the odd job. Hatsune Amemiya, cafe employee, Moonworld's newest employee. Worked as a servant for Yukishiro in Ueno's red light district. A servant. Kyozo Uzumi, MPD investigator, former co-worker. Inspector with the MPD's criminal investigation department, rank as police sergeant. We've been close for ages, much as I wish that wasn't the case. Dude, why are you so harsh on this guy? He does seem really nice. Oh, I've got evidence here. Inokashira Park, information March 4, received a bizarre request to find my true self. Victim number 1 summary. Day of discovery, February 29th. Location of discovery, Inokashira Park. Arms, legs, and head found, but torso missing. Day of discovery, March 2nd. Location of discovery, Tama Cemetery. Buried in the ground, foot was stuck above the dirt and set on fire. Left arm was severed. Investigation notes. Finished work and decided to go home for the first time in ages. Seems Moonworld's got a new employee. Met a strange girl. Moonworld's new employees named Hatsune Amemiya. Got a request to look into a dismemberment murder from Uozumi. Interesting. Got the map. Oh wow. That's our house. Moonworld is here. Inokashira Park is here. Tokisaka Detective Agency. Whoa. So like, the murder happened here near where we live. The detective agency where we work at is way over here, Shinjuku Station. Kitama, Nerima, Toshima, Minato, Shibuya. Like Tokyo. Points of interest, crime scenes. Ooh. Tama Cemetery and Inokashira Park. Can we? If I click on them, what does it do? Just nothing. Oh, there's a correlation chart. Hatsune Amemiya, Kyoko Hazuki, Kyozo Uozumi, Reiji Tokisaka, Toko Kuchiki, Yukari Tokisaka. Siblings hired me. Reluctant, or it's like reluctant friend, old friend Kyoko, and this is a cold work. Ah yeah, Kyozo Uozumi was a friend of Kyoko as well. Cool. Cool.
それでも現状に行けば何か見つかるもんさ。
I headed out at Uozumi's behest.
ここからだと中央線で武蔵境まで行って玉川線の玉墓地前で降りればいいな。
Tamagawa line.
ちょっと待て、魚住。
I halted Uozumi in his tracks and glanced
お
around.
前、パトカーで来たんじゃないのか。
Indeed, no such car was anywhere in sight.
トヨペットの新車が配備されたばかりだって自慢してたじゃないか。
Is Toyopet an actual car? Toyopet Master? Oh my god, that's actually a car. The Toyopet Master, introduced in January 1955, is a passenger car that was an evolution of the earlier Toyota SR RH sedan, also known as the Super, with a modernised body. As with its predecessor, the Master has a ladder-frame truck chassis with leaf-sprung solid axles, both at the front and rear. So it was a Toyota. Why is it called a Toyopet Master? It's a weird name. And I wasn't sure if it was independent front car suspension, rear hinged back doors installed on the crown wouldn't be too radical for the taxi market. Anyway. Right.
バカ野郎、緊急時でもないのに使えるかよ。切符代は出してやるから行くぞ。
Alright, he likes his car.
だよ。
I gave up and followed Uozumi to Shinjuku Station. Much as I wanted to take his new car for a spin, it probably wasn't the smartest idea to risk the public mistaking me for a criminal getting hauled off to the slammer. Was it a police car or was it his own car?
お疲れ様です。お、ご苦労さん。
We reached the crime scene after being greeted by an officer on standby. The graveyard was as silent as the, well, grave. There was a chill looming over the grounds, and it wasn't Winters doing that, was for sure. Most murder scenes were like that. I wasn't exactly a believer in ghosts and spirits in this era of science, but even I could tell the aura here was off.
さあ、調べてくれ。
待てよ。この状態で何を調べろってんだ。
気になったところを調べてみればいいだろうが。
だったらそこをどいてくれ。
I pushed Uozumi's gargantuan frame aside and checked the crime scene. Nothing. There was only one spot that seemed even remotely noteworthy. The cemetery was shrouded by fog. Crows were cawing everywhere, even though there had to have been far better places out there to make themselves at home.
第一発見者の供述は取れているのか？
ああ、見つけたのは近所に住んでいるじいさんだ。夜中に墓場で何かが燃えているのに気づいたらしい。最初は鬼火だと思ったんだってよ。
人玉には時期がずれているだろう。
Probably would have made for a rather pleasant evening if it had been summer, though.
どちらにせよ仏がいたのは確かだからな。そして通報してきたわけだが、夜中にも特に不審者などは見ていないらしい。
So he didn't see anyone suspicious. Part of the ground was excavated and discoloured. The hole wasn't that deep though, just 20 centimetres or so, give or take. 20 centimetres? That's nothing at all.
音はどうだ？悲鳴やら何やら聞こえなかったのか？
それもなかったようだな。車は何台か走っていたらしいが、まあ街道沿いだからな。何ら不思議はない。
つまりは車で来たとしても絞りきれないわけだ。
Would have been nice if we could somehow find out which cars visited the cemetery. That seemed like a pipe dream.
一応調べておいてくれないか？
期待はするなよ。
That was probably what I was going to find in this spot. Okay. That was probably what I was going to find in this spot. What? How? That was okay. So... Wonder what else. So, what about...
ここに埋められていたのか？
ああ、うつ伏せで寝かされ、膝下だけが折られて地表に出ていた。そこに火をつけられていたな。何かわかるか？
焦るなよ。後でゆっくりと考えるさ。あと、この辺りに足跡やなんかは残されていなかったのか？
I indicated the ground around the desecrated soil.
発見時に足跡は発見されなかったようだな。念入りに地面が鳴らされていたらしい。
そうか。
Not anything of interest here? No. What else? What are we missing here? I don't think there's anything of real note. So we've... Guess there's... What's this button do? Can I end the investigation? No. I don't think there's anything else to check. I've clicked on all the options. I've definitely, I think, clicked on all the options. Oh. Uzumi started issuing orders to the nearby cop after I finished my investigation. The time had come to put my thinking cap on and review what I'd learned. Though, with that said, I didn't precisely have much evidence to go off of. It made me wonder if he could even make an arrest when we only had a general profile of the culprit. The first order of business was considering the evidence left at the crime scene. I flipped through my notebook. The only trace remaining of any crime was... No? The only trace... Right, the hole in the ground. It would have been far too shallow to completely bury the body. The culprit simply placed the body down and covered it with dirt, which made it hard to imagine that was done to hide the body. I doubted that was what the killer had in mind, judging from the state in which the corpse was found.
ちょっとシャベルを貸してくれないか
I added the nearby cop. I addressed the nearby cop.
どうぞありがとう
I stuck the tip of the shovel in the ground near the crime scene.
おいレイジ、あまり現場を荒らすなよ。
分かってるよ
I started digging. The ground wasn't all that hard, so it was a simple task. Excavating 20 centimeters or so would hardly take longer than a jiffy. A jiffy? What is this?
それ
I stopped digging and contemplated the matter. No, if time were the issue, they would never have tried hiding the body by digging in a place like this to begin with. But if the culprit was weak, then why would they even bother digging? There had to be some method to their madness, but what? They weren't trying to hide the body.
足に火をつけるため
足が逆さに突き出ているといや、そんな映画があったな。あれは湖だったか
It was a stunt in a movie set on a lake.
犬神家の謎だろあれも確か見立て殺人の話だったな
Interesting. But if that was what we were dealing with, then what in the world was our killer alluding to?
第一発見者の話では、まるでろうそくか松明のようだったらしいぞ。
ろうそく
I hadn't actually seen it myself, so I could only imagine. I pictured a foot blazing brilliantly in the dark cemetery. Maybe it had been some sort of religious ceremony. By this point, the more I thought, the more lost I became. I needed more information.
魚住遺体の解剖は済んでいるのか
司法解剖と鑑識結果は明日わかるはずだ。そうだ、お前も明日は高田の馬場に来い。
Takadano Baba? Uzumi placed a hand on my shoulder like he concocted an ingenious plan.
高田の馬場って
There was only one coroner I could think of in all of Takadano Baba, jeez. And she just so happened to be the craziest doctor on earth.
他
What?
の医者に頼めなかったのかよ
俺に観察医を決める権限なんざねえよ。諦めてくれ。
Said the guy with a shitting grin on his face. There was a look that screamed, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me.
じゃあ残りは明日だな
Guess that meant my work was done for the day.
お、また明日。
Well, that was an easy day's work. By the time I said goodbye to Uzumi and made my way back to Kichijoji, evening was already upon me. Now what? Should I make a pit stop somewhere or head straight home? Do we have options? So we have... Are we at Shinjuku Station just now? Go to the park. I arrived at Inokashira Park. Though it was chillier than during the day, it was still nice enough for me to enjoy a walk or break here. That just went to show how close spring was. I decided to take a leisurely stroll through the park. Like Tyson, I'm going to play some Rising Storm 2. Cool. Enjoy, man. I wonder if we're going to find anything in this park. But just as I approached the pond,
Yukari?
I saw Yukari frantically reaching for the water from the levee. What did I just walk into? She really needed to watch herself. I was worried she'd fall into the water at any second. Wait, who's Yukari? The sister, right?
何をしてるんだ、ゆかり。
兄さん、手伝ってください。
Yukari faced me, eyes brimming with tears.
どうした？
I moseyed on over to Yukari and studied the pond before us. Carp were poking their heads out of the water, rupturing the surface with ripples.
だな。
Had she been feeding them?
溺れてるの。ほら、あんなに口をパクパクさせて。
Are you serious? Was this some sort of prank?
あのな、ゆかり。あれは溺れているわけじゃないんだぞ。
What the hell is going on?
でも、あんなに苦しそう。
お前が手をかざすから餌をくれると思って集まってきたんだよ。
Is she really that stupid?
まあ、そうだったの。でもごめんなさいね。あいにくと食べられるものは持っていないの。
How does she not know this? She's like a teenager. Yukari apologized to the carp. I was glad she understood, but
本当にお前は自分の好きなこと以外は全くものを知らないよな。
I feel like there's one thing in not knowing much outside of your sphere of interest, and there's being completely stupid.
昆虫の生態でしたら問題ないのですけれど、石鹸水ではアメンボは溺れてしまうとか。
My sister was such an odd bird. Seriously, odd bird? What is this translation, man? She was... Let's go to Shinjuku Station. I arrived in Shinjuku. There weren't that many people about, probably because rush hour was still a bit away. Though there were a lot compared to other parts of the city, that said. I walked over to Nico from the station, did some window shopping at the Ozugang market, treated myself to some bean bread at Nakamuraya, and read a book at Kinokuniya. And sure, I visited all the usual haunts. Once I was done with all that, I returned to my office. The mailbox was empty. Office was the same as ever too, though I would have been alarmed if something actually had changed. I sat at my desk and breathed a heavy sigh. For a moment I considered spending the night there.
ゆかりが晩飯用意してるって言っていたな。
Yeah, that was right. She wrote as much in her note this morning. And so, with that recollection, I decided to head home. Ah, crap, I wanted to go to Moon World. I returned home. The lights were on. Yukari must have returned already. I'd suspected what I'd find waiting for me the moment I saw those loafers in the entryway. It was true that I'd considered someone might drop by. I wouldn't have put that note on my agency door otherwise. But
どちら
still,
様ですか？
a man I'd never seen before was reclining on the sofa. Oh, this is a different person. He appeared to be a mild-mannered individual in his 50s. I could instantly tell he wasn't some kind of burglar. Besides, Yukari would be naive enough to serve coffee to an intruder.
ああ、これは時坂玲二さんですね。私は大場女学院の教頭をしております。佐伯と申します。
Vice Principal of the Academy. The man rose to his feet and politely bowed. Oba Girls' Academy, that was Yukari's school. What in the world was its Vice Principal doing here?
まさかとは思いますが、ゆかりが何か問題を起こしたのですか？
違いますよ、兄さん。
Yukari popped in from the kitchen.
時坂さんは優秀ですよ。部活動でも皆をよくまとめています。
佐伯先生は兄さんに仕事の依頼があるそうです。
What?
仕事？
はい。時坂さんのお兄さんが探偵業を営んでいらっしゃると聞き及びまして。
Nope. Saiki looked dead serious. Yes, I don't think he's lying. Well, I guess it wouldn't kill me to hear him out at least. After all, some jobs were simple enough where all I had to do was give some advice and then bam, done. And even if it wasn't that easy, I could just refer him to the guy in Ueno. Problem solved. Whatever the case, I wouldn't want to slight someone who came all this way asking for my help.
どういったご用件でしょうか。
I gestured Saiki back to the sofa and quickly followed suit. Yukari watched from afar with a tinge of concern in her eyes.
ええ、大場女学院でのことなのですが、今年に入ってから学生が2名相次いで失踪してしまい。
Uh-oh. Also, why is he like leaning back like that?
失踪。
This is not good.
まず1月の半ばに西園結衣という学生が行方不明となりました。そして2週間前、今度は今村遥という学生がいなくなりまして。
Saiki laid out the facts with the practiced concision of a
警
professional.
察には。
もちろん伝えてあります。ですが一向に進展がなく、ですからこうしてここへ来たのです。
そうですか。
Couldn't say I blamed the police though, they were probably trying their best. It's just that due to the many different possibilities of her disappearances, running away, kidnapping, suicide, homicide, accidents, it was nearly impossible to scrounge up information without witnesses.
誠に恥ずかしい話なのですが、我が学院は世間体というものを気にするあまり、2人目の今村さんがいなくなるまで
That's bad.
って動いていませんでした。
Saiki dolefully hung his head.
自分に謝らないでください。謝るとしたら行方不明となっている学生さんのご家族でしょう。
Yep.
ええ、分かっているのですが。
Saiki's voice crawled to a whisper. This had to have been rough on him as well.
2人の行方不明者ね。
Wait a sec.
現在別件で殺人事件を扱っています。そこで身元不明の少女の遺体が2つ発見されています。
まさか。
まだわかりません。まだ。
Saiki practically sprung off the sofa upon hearing what was surely the first potential lead he'd had in ages, but I held out my hand and just shook my head.
ですが可能性は捨てきれません。佐伯先生、このご依頼お受けいたします。
If these cases turned out to be connected, then I'd be killing two birds with one stone. Death was staring me right in the face, yet my mind was working out its next courses of action as coolly as ever.
ありがとうございます。ところで、あと一つお願いがあるのですが。
何でしょう。
実はこれ以上の被害を出さないためにも学院内部で調査をしていただきたいのですが。
What?
話がよく見えないのですが。
Oh no.
学生たちに不審がられぬよう臨時講師として学内に入ってもらいたいのです。
You want us to act as a lecturer? Oh no.
臨時講師。
I wasn't following.
聞けば時坂さんは世界史に造詣が深いとか。ですから世界史の講師として学内で目立たぬよう調査活動を行っていただきたいのです。
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
それは。
It would probably prove quite difficult. Even if the two cases did happen to be connected, keeping me bound in one place would very likely curtail me from investigating the murders.
兄さん、私からもお願いします。
What? Why? Yukari chimed in just as I was wrangling over the matter.
大丈夫、心配するな。受けないとは言っていない。
I turned back to Saiki.
どなたか教師の中で女学生の行動や心理を把握していらっしゃる方はいますか。
養護教諭でもよろしいですか。
ええ、十分です。その方にはお話を伺うことも多くなるでしょうから、こちらの仕事内容も伝えておいてくださいますか。
それはつまりその他の教師にも内密にしておくということでよろしいですか。
そうですね。ご理解が早くて助かります。嗅ぎ回っていることはあまり広く知られたくありませんからね。
So we're going to pretend to be a lecturer.
わかりました。それでは。
何分他の調査もありますので、常勤というわけには参りませんが、できる範囲で協力したいと思っています。
ええ、もちろんです。それでは非常勤講師として赴任するということでよろしくお願いいたします。
ええ。
We got up and exchanged handshakes. It seemed things were about to get real busy around here. I returned to my office in Shinjuku on the last train after Saiki went home. We decided that I'd begin my investigation at Oba Girls Academy on the 8th. I still had plenty of time until then, so I had to accomplish everything else I could in that time. The first order of business was checking the results of the autopsy tomorrow. Uzubi told me to head to Takadan no Baba. There was a medical coroner I knew who worked there. It was just, man, weird, didn't even begin to describe her. If it weren't for work, I would have filed a restraining order on her eons ago. Oh. I turned off the lights, flopped onto my sofa and wrapped myself up in the blanket. As I faded into the deep embrace of sleep, my mind flashed back to my fiancée who was taken from me 6 long years ago.
「街を歩く」「市電が通り過ぎていく」「どの路線も色をなくした人でいっぱい」「少し前までは華やかな着物を身にまとった人も多かったのに、今はもうモノクロームの人の群れ、サイレント映画のように誰も何も喋らない。色をのせよう、華やかな色を。この閉塞した世界を明るく変える色を。そのくらいしか私にはできないから。
Oh god.
私は青が
Blue seems like a good fit, but he says red is perfect.
あの人は赤がいいと。
This makes me think that this Toko person is probably the murderer. And when she says, I want you to find me, she's like, I want you to find me, the person, the murderer, me. Moon's age, 23.2. What? Okay. I woke up to the most nauseating sight imaginable.
やっと起き上がったか。
朝っぱらからむさ苦しい顔見せるんじゃねえよ。
What amazing friends.
てめえが起きねえからだろうが。
お前が来るのが早すぎるんだよ。
もうすぐ昼だぞ。ほら、とっとと起きやがれ。
I reluctantly stood up.
仕方ねえ。行くか。
After changing into a wrinkled button-down shirt, I left my office.
おい、ウズミ。
どうした？
パトカーで来たんじゃないのか？
I saw no cop car parked near the office.
だから緊急時以外に使わねえって言っただろうが。くだらねえこと言ってねえで。行くぞ。
Yeah, why would you ask again? I feel like we'd know the answer. Uzumi grabbed my arm and hauled me off. However, he led me north of all
おい、
places.
ウズミ。駅は西だろ
高田馬場だったらここから歩いた方が早いだろうが。
Uzumi said that like it wasn't his problem.
う。
Bastard.
2キロ以上あるだろうが。電車を使わせろよ。
2 clicks? What the fuck is that?
口を動かしている暇があるなら足を動かせ。
He wasn't going to listen to me at all, it seemed. This, when it'd be so simple to just take the Yamate line on the police's tab to. I gave up myself for glaring daggers into Uzumi's back as I followed him. We arrived in Takadano Baba after a 30-minute stroll up Meiji Street.
体が温まっただろう。
腹減った。
Since I'd gone on a long walk right after waking up, my appetite was of far greater concern to me than warmth.
飯だったら諦めな。これから行くところを考えれば食わない方がマシだぜ。
分かってる。
Grabbing a bite to eat just before hearing an autopsy report didn't sound very appealing, that was for sure. This place was not for the faint of heart, especially not those who blew chunks just hearing about gore. And to make matters worse, you could very well end up an audience to a live autopsy if you played your cards wrong.
レイジ、お前が先に行けよ。
お前が行けよ。警官だろ。
お前の方が扱いは慣れているだろう。
Jeez, you must be bad. We were negotiating right in front of the clinic for some reason.
最近来てないから入りづらいんだよ。
Though there was more to it than just that, of course.
いいから行けよ。
待てよ。まだ心の準備が。
何しとるん？
Oh. A voice suddenly ambushed us from behind.
人の顔見て
What
悲鳴
the
上げる
hell
こ
is
と
this
あらへん
character?
やろ？時作はん？
What the hell am I even looking at?
いや、いきなりだったからつい。
Why is this game's about like a serial killer and everyone, I mean, it's just like she looks like a hentai character. I turned around and apologized to the woman, and that's me.
むっちゃ傷つくわ。うちかて一生懸命なのに。
Oh my god.
何ですか。
時作班が来る言うからせっかくおめかしまでしとったんよ。
俺は単に鑑識の報告を聞きに来ただけですがね。
あら、そうなん？しゃあないな。二人ともお入り。
Natsumi winked at us before creeping back into the clinic.
やっぱりレイジに任せるわ。あの人の応対は。
What? We were taken not to a waiting room or sick room, but rather the very heart of the operation itself. The autopsy operating room. Though I'd never heard of any actual surgeries happening there, so just autopsy room probably sufficed.
押して。何が聞きたい？
井の頭公園と多摩霊園の仏のことだ。レイジのやつが詳しく知らんから一つずつ行こう。
せやな。ほな最初のバラバラから行こうか。
What? Natsumi grabbed a stack of papers off her desk after she said that. I whipped out my notebook in preparation.
2月29日未明、武蔵野市吉祥寺の井の頭公園で若い女性のものとみられる遺体、正確には四肢及び頭部が発見された。胴体は未だ発見されていない。池もさらったそうだが、関係すると思われるものは一切出てこなかったそうだ。
身元は分かっているのか。
それが分かってへんねん。頭残うとる言うても腐ってボロボロやしな。うちだらけやったんやけど。
妙なところ。
Oops.
まだまだ寒い季節やろ。ほいでもウジが成長しすぎてんねん。仏さんの腐敗具合と一致しひんのや。
Natsumi flipped through her documents.
腐敗の進行は2月末ということを考えると死後1週間以内や。せやけどウジの大きさはだいたい1センチ。12日ほど経っとんねん。
誤差じゃないのか。
2倍の違いは誤差言わへんよ。まあ冷凍保存されてたら分からへんけど、そうなると腐敗もウジの成長も止まっとるやろしな。
I was indeed curious.
あとな、一応指紋は取れたんやけど、警視庁にあるリストじゃ該当者は見つからなかったらしいで。
捜索願いが出されていても指紋などの資料は揃わんからな。
Yeah, why would you necessarily have their fingerprints?
ま、他にいくらでも調べる方法はあるからええんやけどな。歯型とか。
血液型は？
ほとんど血残うとらへんかったけど、一応 A 型っちゅうことは分こうとるで。
I nodded as I scrolled all that down.
他に特筆すべき点はなかったんですか？
あるで。考えようによっちゃこれが一番重要かもわからへんな。足の切断面に生活反応があったんよ。
Fatal reactions.
生きている間に足を切られたってことか。
せやな。でもな、腕からは生活反応が出てへんのや。
They cut off her legs while she was at work.
足を切断され、出血多量で死亡。その後腕と頭部を切断。そうなりますか？
かもしれへんな。
次は3月2日、府中市の多摩霊園で発見された遺体だ。こちらも被害者は若い女で、左腕を切断されて埋められ、足には灯油をかけられて火をつけられていた。
This was the murder I'd investigated.
こっちはなんぼかわかりやすいんよ。なんせ仏さんがほとんど残っとったし、はっきりしとることも多いしな。
はっきりしていること。
まあ順番に行こうか。まずは死亡推定時刻やね。こいつは3月1日夜7時から0時までとはっきりしとるんよ。
That's me sounded very sure of herself.
ほら、足に火つけられとった言うやろ。それで足の筋肉に再硬直の跡があったんよ。死後5時間以内に人工的に硬直を解いたっちゅうわけや。
Loosened up again.
火をつけた時に動かしたということですね。
おそらくな。せやから発見時から遡って5時間以内に殺されたっちゅうのが確実や。
死因は左腕を切られたからですか？
左腕の切断面にも生活反応はあったんやけどな。他にもあったんよ。腹がかっさばかれて内臓、子宮が切り取られとった。
Bloody hell. It sliced open her stomach and removed her uterus.
なんだって。
I knew this was a grotesque case, but I never could have imagined that.
それだけやない。空っぽになったお腹の中に卵の殻が入れられとった。割れとったけど黒く塗られてたわ。
They put an eggshell where the uterus was. Oof. Painted it black.
黒い卵の殻。なんだそりゃ。
Well, this game is called The Shell. Why would the killer do something like that?
それを調べるのが探偵班の仕事やろ。うちはただ死体からわかることを調べるだけやもの。
そうですね。
This could have very well been an important clue in nailing the culprit.
出刃包丁で切除したみたいやね。わざわざ縫合までしとったけど、普通の裁縫糸やったわ。専門的な道具は一切使われてへん。
左腕を切断したのは
断面の骨がひしゃげとったさかいな。ナタのような重い刃物やろな。あとな、子宮が取り出されてた言うたやろ。それな、実は残っとったんよ。
Okay.
どういうことですか？
調べてみたらな、成功の跡があったんよ。ただし精子の生存は確認できひんかったから、強姦殺人の線は捨ててもいいはずやで。
ただ遺体は黒い布に包まれただけの全裸だったから、わいせつ目的という線も捨てきれていない。
そうか。少しでも犯人に近づく手がかりはないのか。
せやね。肝心なの忘れとったわ。仏さんの身元な、1日の夕方からいなくなってた小泉慶っちゅう学生さんや。
身元が分かったんですか？
腐敗もしとらんかったから判別は容易やったんや。
Natsumi tossed the documents onto the desk.
今んとここんなもんやね。時に時坂藩、最近あの子に会うた？
Your boy? She abruptly changed the
あの子っ
subject.
てあいつですか？
There was only one person I knew whom Natsumi ever called that.
せやせや、お土産があるんやけども、ちょいと持っていってくれへん？
Who?
なんで俺が。自分で持っていけばいいじゃないですか。
It wasn't like he lived all that far away after all.
だってあの子ってレアやさかい、なかなか会うてくれへんのやもん。
Well,
知りませんよ。魚住にでも頼めばいいじゃないですか。
魚住はんはおまわりさんやさかい、こないなこと頼めへん。
a chill ran down my spine. Wherever this was, I want no part of it.
なあ、うち時坂藩しか頼れる人おらんねん。
I tried to turn to Uzumi, but the sneaky bastard bailed on me.
わかりましたよ。届ければいいんでしょ？届ければ。
What is this?
おおきに時坂藩。この借りは今度ちゃんと返すさかいね。
Damn it. This is why I didn't want anything to do with this. It was already evening by the time I left. I still hadn't eaten all day.
時坂はんお土産の中は食べちゃあかんで。
What?
食いませんよ。
I was about to leave with the package in hand when I suddenly noticed something.
夏目さん、看板がおかしくなってますよ。
The clinic sign read Akashiro Clinic.
おやまあ、しゃあないな。やっぱ適当にやったんが間違いやったかね。
What? Natsumi sighed as she looked up.
開業するときに土片つければ済むし、ちょうどよかったんやけどな。
そりゃ適当に書いただけだったら雨が降れば消えるでしょうが。
ほいなら油性ペン持ってくるさかい。時坂はん書いてな。
What?
なんで俺が。
ええからええから。ちょいと待っとき。
She just like wrote the sign on the wall in permanent marker. What the fuck? Natsumi headed back into her clinic. I sighed wearily. I wanted to leave, but knew that'd only make things worse for me in the long run. And so, with great reluctance, I brought out a stepladder from behind the building.
お待たせ。ほいじゃよろしく頼みますぜ。
はいはい。
I placed the ladder against the wall, climbed it, and added the missing letter.
ああ、そっちの看板も頼みますぜ。
Natsumi barked out orders as she played around with the sign on the
これ
ground.
でいいですよね。
やっぱ自分の名前が入ってると気合の入りようも違うんやろ。時坂探偵事務所の探偵班。
だったら夏目委員にでもすればよかったじゃないですか。高城さん。
あかん。うちは兄弟行さんおったさかん。下の名前で呼ばれなわからんくなんねん。だからちゃんと夏目ちゃんって呼んでな。
Not what the
こんな
fuck.
呼び方したことありませんから。
I returned to the office, feeling a bit tipsy thanks to the dinner I forced Uzumi to treat me to.
さて。
Guess I better go over everything that's happened. I kicked back in my chair as I flipped through my notebook. The first order of business was poring over the day's autopsy reports. Though the dismembered body found at Inokashira Park was outside my jurisdiction, I was still curious about the victim's ID. The murder was believed to have occurred 7 to 10 days prior to the body's discovery. There was some small room for error, but the time frame was almost certainly accurate. So, with that in mind, did I have any leads on who our mysterious Jane Doe could be? I flipped through the notebook and looked through my list of people. That's right, her. Haruka Imamura. Her disappearance matched up with the estimated time frame of the murder. But it was just a possibility. I'd have to look into this some more. After all, I didn't even have a remote idea of what this killer was like. However, as for the other murder, there was one clue that granted me insight into the culprit. It was... the black egg that was supposedly in the victim's abdomen. Maybe it was a hint, but I didn't know enough about it to say anything for sure at this point. Even if it wasn't ironclad proof, was there anything else that might tell me something about the killer? The black cloth wrapped around the body. Both victims had been wrapped in similar cloths. Maybe it wasn't entirely relevant, but it was somewhere to start when it came to links at least. It seemed I really did need to pay Oba Girls Academy a visit. If there was even the slightest chance that the missing students were connected to the case, then investigating from that angle seemed like the best idea. That'd have to wait for tomorrow though. I looked at the package I'd left on the desk.
俺のにでも行くか。奴の嫁さんも妊娠したらしいからな。
But man, oh man. Why do the Takashiro siblings have to be such a pack of weirdos? Uh-oh. March the 7th, moon's age 24.2, waning crescent, neap tide. I woke up. My drowsy mind struggled to return to reality as I carefully surveyed my surroundings. Oh yeah, that's right, I spent the night in my office. I freed myself from the blanket's warm embrace and rose to my feet. My joints were killing me. The closer to 30 I got, the harder it was to sleep anywhere but on a proper futon. Depressing. I would have loved nothing more than to go home, but my busy work schedule refused to cooperate. Though part of it was that I simply didn't like taking the last train home when people on it were so often stuffed together like sardines. I picked the package up off my desk and left the agency. It was rather warm today, a sign the spring was just around the corner. A lot of pedestrians were wearing lighter clothing too. The first storms of spring would be at our doorsteps any week now. That thought crossed my mind as I looked at a girl in a short skirt. Anyway, it's off to Ueno. It'd be a simple trip if I took the Yamate line from Shinjuku Station. But on my way, I suddenly noticed a crowd gathering in front of Kinokuniya. Dozens of teenage girls were staring at the storefront. What's this all about? I took a closer look and saw that their eyes were trained on a sign that read Shin Katsuragi Book Release Party. Shin Katsuragi. Couldn't say I'd heard of him. Must have been a new author. Did he write last year's Season of the Sun? No, wait, that was Shintaro Ishihara. Either way, standing there amongst all those teenagers was making me feel older by the second. Thus, I decided to quit dawdling and head for Ueno. I made my way to an office at a building in front of Ueno Station.
Takashiro, iru ka?
I tapped on the door and strolled right on in without waiting for an answer. A bizarre smell assaulted my nose the moment I dropped in. Oh shit. And a second later I saw a man collapse before me. Whoa, hold your horses, Reiji. Don't jump the gun, take a good look around and figure out what happened first. What the fuck? A red liquid blemished the man from mouth to chest. Wherever it was had likely dribbled out of his mouth and just soaked his clothes, sparing the table. Most people would conclude he'd been murdered just from looking at him in this state. Crumpled tissues were scattered across the floor. It took less than a second for me to determine that I'd rather not dwell on what they signified. A triangular nameplate was sitting on the desk. It read Detective. Did you think his clients were goldfish or something? A beckoning cat. I'd heard that its raised right forepaw was meant to bring financial success, but did it really work? Probably not, considering its owner was currently sprawled out atop a desk. Though things would probably get a little better once his wife was back on stage. An unusual scent hung in the air. I knew this guy was an idiot, but this really took the cake. Honestly, investigating any further would be a waste of time. A glass cup was next to the man. At its bottom remained the sticky residue of some sort of red liquid. It was likely the culprit behind that funky stench. What? I mean, yeah, I guess he can't help himself given the state his wife's in, but come on man, at least put that stuff where your clients can't see it. There was a red stain pooled in the carpet. Oh man, he's gonna catch hell for this. I'd already done more than enough. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought a hurricane had ravaged this room. Not even a thief or burglar could have made such a mess. It was just as bad as my office. So in other words, it was habitable. Maybe I should clean up after myself every once in a while. Just as messy as my office. A man lay spread-eagled across the table. I recognised his face. Of course I did. I came here to see him after all. But this was the last thing I'd expected to find. In any case, a lot more investigating was clearly warranted. What? The time had come to address the elephant in the room. Why was he laid out on the table like that? It almost looked like he'd passed out drunk, but his face and chest made it apparent something odd had definitely happened. In any case, a little more investigating was clearly warranted. Something seemed off about his chest. About his chest? Something seemed off about his chest. But then when I click on it, it doesn't give me anything. Let's just get this over with. I slid off my right shoe, hoisted my leg, and took aim. Though I could have left it on, I figured I should show some mercy.
Takashiro, okiro.
And with that, I planted an axe kick right into his solar plexus. Oh shit. The man, Shugo Takashiro, jolted to his feet with a shriek.
Tomato juice 飲みながら寝てるんじゃねえよ。
Tomato juice? What the fuck? Shugo finally got off the table.
ああ、時坂か。久しぶりだな。
The two of us had known each other since the war. We'd even both joined the police at the same time and had subsequently quit, though me a bit sooner.
ごめん、カズナってなんだ?
Seriously, just what the hell kind of life do those two lead?
なんか用か?
I chucked the package at him, shaking my head at this blatant attempt to dodge my
こいつ
question.
を預かってきた。夏目さんから。
け、夏ねえから。
Whoa, what was that reaction? Shugo instinctively hurled the package right back at me the second he heard his sister's name.
いらない、お前にやる。さあ、早く持って行っちまってくれ。
Jeez, man, what? Even her own brother?
俺がもらってどうすんだよ。
I shoved the package back into his hands.
遠慮するなって。
いらんもんはいらん。
そう言うなよ。俺を助けると思って。
じゃあ夏目さんに言っておくぞ。週吾の野郎がいらないと言ってましたって。
いや、それはさらにまずい。そんなことが夏姉に知れた日にはどんな目に遭わされるか。
Damn. Never in my life had I seen this man's face twist in such visceral terror. Bloody hell. Not that I blamed him, mind you. I couldn't even begin to imagine the sort of nightmares Natsumi would put our kid brother through.
何が入ってるんだ?
Shugo meekly took the package inside.
どうせろくでもないもんだろう。
He reluctantly opened it. Inside was a letter, along with a grey rectangular block. Yeah, it had to be, no doubt about it.
なんでこんなものを。何々？群馬は下仁田町の最高級こんにゃくと酢。カズナ藩は身重や堺。しゅうちゃんが一人で慰めるときはぜひ使おうとくれやす。なんだそりゃ。
さすがは夏目さんだな。見ろよ。こんにゃくにしっかりと切れ目まで入ってるぞ。
Oh my god.
たく、うちの一族は夏姉も奈々も何を考えてやがるんだが。
妹さんも何かくれたのか?
Huh? Nana was Shugo's kid sister. Apparently she was just as much of a character as their older sibling.
ナナのやつ、自分のヌード写真集なんか送りつけてきやがった。
What?
騎士に勝る変態ぶりだな。
カズナはカンカンに怒るしよ。
私が何に怒ってるんですか?
Uh-oh. Shugo twitched upon hearing that looming voice from behind.
うわ、ごめんカズナ。
He fell to his knees and cowered. Seriously, what was up with them? In any case, I turned around, ignoring the
いや
dimwit.
あ、カズナさん、お邪魔していますよ。
あ、時坂さんじゃないですか。お久しぶりです。
She looks like someone that could be evil. This woman was Kazuna Takashiro, nee Kozuki. She was a famous stage actress and Shugo's wife. Oh, a famous stage actress. Though I'd heard she was currently on maternity leave due to her pregnancy.
随分と大きくなりましたね。
The swelling in her abdomen was evident even through all those bulky clothes.
もう6ヶ月になりますから。
なるほど。上の方は相変わらずのようですけれど。
Oh, Reggie, what are you saying? Her bust was a pitiful sight, even with all those layers blanketed it. Mate! What the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck? Shugo snarled and seized my shoulders in an uncharacteristic show of rage. Did I push my luck? Why would you say that?
俺だってな、毎晩頑張って揉んでるんだぞ。それなのに、カズナの胸は相変わらず成長しやがらないんだよ。
What the fuck? How the hell was he expecting me to respond to that?
おかげで俺の握力ばかり強くなって、簡単にリンゴを握りつぶせるようになっちまったよ。
What the fuck is this?
シュウゴさん、何バカなこと言ってるんですか？
ごめんカズナ。
Shugo instantly begged for mercy. For the love of... I know it's my fault for derailing the conversation and all, but I'll never understand these two, I swear. Dude, what is wrong with you? I think this is a good point. Let me save. I think this is a good point to end it there. We'll leave this for now. I'll see if I'll carry this on next week. Yeah, this is taking a turn. This was a lot more like when the first 3 parts of this playthrough. This felt like a more serious game, and now I'm just like, what is this? We had that scene with the sister in the bath. I was like, oh my god, this isn't eroge, isn't it? And then this weird comedic scene here, and then with this guy's sister. I don't know. It's a bit weird. But hey, and with the backdrop of like 2 hideous murders, it's a little bit of whiplash. But we'll leave it there for today. I am Ash Mannix. This is the Shell Part 1 Inferno, and I'll hopefully see you guys next time. See ya.